Were these qualifiers good? Not really. Were these qualifiers better than last year's? Absolutely. The qualifiers wrapped up last week, and I'm going to share my thoughts about them. First, we're going to start off with the new obstacles, and most of them were pretty good. The only one that I actually really had a problem with was heavy metal, and it wasn't really the obstacle designer's fault, as I don't think they expected people to be hitting their head on the reverse transfer. My favorite new obstacle, just as an obstacle, is Duck Duck Goose. I think it's really creative. My only problem with it is that I feel like it was a little bit too hard for a number 4 obstacle. Reel to Reel was also another really fun obstacle. It was also super exciting to watch, and when people didn't let go on their very first swing and make the lache, it was exciting being able to watch them try and just regain their momentum back, and the only person that actually ended up succeeding was James McGrath. And him being able to do that meant for one of the most exciting runs of the qualifiers. Now, the competitors were a lot better this year than last year, mainly because a lot of competitors didn't get the call for ANW 15, but were able to be on ANW 16. And one of my biggest issues last year was that there were people making it to the second obstacle and being able to move on. But if you looked at the leaderboard this year, no one that failed obstacle 3 or prior were able to move on with the men's side. And because there were a lot stronger competitors this time around, there was more competition to get into the top 12 in the leaderboard, so we actually ended up getting some shocking fails. Last year, the only shocking elimination was Donovan Matoyer, but now we were having people like Christopher Harding-Jones, Nate Hansen, Rachel Deguts, and Maggie Owen not making it to the semifinals, which ended up for some really shocking runs. A couple flaws that I had is that I think it was really lazy of the producers to just rename Razor's Edge Dangerous Waters, but I also heard that they were in a rush making new obstacles and they kind of had to do it. Another thing is that I feel like with the stronger competitors, I feel like the course should have been harder, and I don't really think it was a whole lot harder than ANW 15's, because in ANW 15 we were getting like around 4 clears a qualifier, but now we're getting like around 8. I feel like the runoffs were actually better and kind of worked better this time around, because with the really good competitors we were getting ninjas that actually deserved to be in the semifinals in the runoffs, like Elijah Browning, Roberto Garamore, Cal Plaros, Caden Madslin, Seth Lambert, Tyler Yamauchi, and Ali Tippett-Wooten, just to name a few. There are more. As far as editing goes, for the first 7 episodes, it was bad, but like bearable enough. There were like some times that I got mad, like fast forwarding Matt Bradley or Josiah Papel, but it didn't really irritate me until the 8th episode, and oh my gosh, this was one of the worst episodes of ANW. There were 4 clears on this course, and only 2 of them were shown. Two people got the mega wall, and the clears that they did show were the people that weren't. There were only 4 runs in that episode that I can remember being okay with being fully shown, and that was Connor Galvin and Jesse Graff because they got buzzers, and RJ Roman and Christopher Harding-Jones because they had shocking fails. If the editing was as bad as it was in this episode, I might burn my TV. Like, I'm gonna be so mad if Josh Salinas versus Carson Voiles race gets fast-forwarded, but now that I think about it, it probably will. My final flaw is something that the show probably can't control, but it was that only 2 people got the mega wall, and it was Caleb Bergstrom and Kai Beckstrand, which were 2 people that got it last year. The prize money was raised to $20,000, which I feel like justifies this a little bit. But like, I also feel like that the time limit should have been raised up a little bit, because I feel like people like Vance Walker or Kyle Soderman would have gotten it. Overall, I don't think this season's going to be as bad as I expected it, although with semifinals in Vegas coming up, I feel like there's a lot of ways that they could screw it up. But for now, bye.